TempahZone.
How's it going, everybody? Wherever you listen to this podcast right here, this is episode 104 of the TempahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max, and that's all facts. And ladies and gentlemen, my special guest on the podcast today, man, this dude right here, y'all, very lyrical, very just spits that gutter shit, that dope shit. I really like the music that this guy puts out, man. Just really dope with the word choice. Like, definitely a student of the rap game. Like, this is the shit before I play for somebody, I call this real rap shit. That's what I would say before they play. Nah, this is that shit right here, man. So I definitely gotta make sure I give you that intro, man. I got Bugsy H on the show. How's it going, man?
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, I'm happy to have you on. I definitely have a big thrill for having artists like you on, man, because I feel like in this rap game of melody rappers, and there's nothing wrong with it. I love melody rap. Like, it's always good to see that there's still artists like you doing it like that, man. What inspired you to go that route to make music like this?
I would say, like I said, I was a student of, Big Pun, Big L, Biggie, Pac, all of the greats. I really was inspired by that kind of that whole sound, DMX, Locks, all of those guys. And it kind of it let me know through the years that you really could do what you want to do. You don't have to conform to, different type of melodies that other people are doing. I have nothing bad or negative to say about that because, I know when I was younger, we always, not that we disrespected the elders, but it's like, this is what we're doing. So, I can't get mad at them if they don't like my stuff because my mother used to tell me my music is not for them, it's for everybody else,
Ooh, I like that one. That's a good saying. I'm surprised I haven't heard that one before, but that's definitely a good thing to live by. And I think more artists have to just think that way. It's like that sound that you make, like there is a group of people out there who like will die for that, type of music. Like they love that. They, eat, sleep, breathe that music. So I think it's very good. You went all in with it, and just, you're not like dancing around too many stuff. Cause I think a lot of times artists, they play around with too many sounds and it's like, nah, you should stick to one, stick to a certain vibe. And that's what will really, garner a crowd,
Right. 1000%, man.
Yeah, man. I think that's really dope, man. I think it's good to see that you went that route. I definitely want to ask you though, because you got a lot of music out there, and I definitely noticed that you got a good drive, and you're always posting and stuff. But I wanted to ask you, what was some hardships or difficult things you've had to deal with as an artist so far in the game?
There's always going to be roadblocks that I would have to face those endeavors and kind of, maneuver around them. And I mean, the biggest thing, I don't want to say names, but it's kind of disappointing when, you get the chance to talk to, certain rappers or certain figures that you look up to and you just realize like they're not the best people. You know what I mean? And it's kind of discouraging that then you find a lot of fake entities that surround the business that I'm in. Unfortunately, it's a business that a lot of people try to suck every penny out of you, and that goes with people that accompany you from videographers, photographers, A&Rs, management. The list goes on and on. But you will find those roadblocks, but you got to find a way to kind of maneuver around them. And if you're dedicated enough, I'm sure I've wanted to stop many times, but I just can't do it. I got to keep going.
Yeah, man, that's some real stuff, and it's definitely what you just said. I was gonna joke at you and say, "No, say the names," but what you said, I was like, "No, definitely don't say the names of those people."
I don't want to do that, but
no,
I will say there was a good handful of people that I definitely grew up definitely looking up to, and kind of see how they move and who they are as a person, and just kind of it's a little discouraging,
Yeah, man. It's like that saying, like, never meet your heroes, like,
Right.
then you see what they really are. You're like, oh, that's not what I thought you would be. Like, oh
Right.
man, like I feel like it almost ruins the music.
Right. It's like, certain artists, like, you just look and they like, it's almost like they were living a lie, and you kind of get mad at yourself because you bought into that lie.
Yeah.
Because you were fans of them. And I'm not, like I said, I can't do it because I still listen to some of their music, but
Yeah.
in terms of who they are as a person, like, nah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the way this game is, it's just so competitive, and it's just so tough that, like, people in this game are very just hardened. Like, they're just they've been through some shit, they've seen some shit, they've been, God knows what's happened to them in this game. So you try to understand where these guys and girls come from when they are this way, but it's still very unfortunate when you come to that realization that, oh man, like, these, some of these artists aren't like who I thought they were. Like, it's just a weird thing to get your mind around.
Right. And to kind of piggyback off of that, some of them are very disgruntled, and the labels had their way with them. So they kind of, I'm not saying that it's a cycle effect and it comes back, but clearly you see what the industry or whatever, how they've been affected by that. And, that's when you kind of just like step back and you see, Yeah. So for me, I just kind of drift away, you know what I mean? Cause I had the chance to work with a few artists that I looked up to, but I just couldn't do it. Some of them I couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Sometimes you just gotta close doors on certain things, man, and other ones will just open. So I definitely want to stress about that. But it's good that you came to realizing all that stuff pretty earlier than later, man. So it's definitely good that you're ahead of that and aware of that. Seriously.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to ask you though about just what you got going on with outside of music. You have Ris Wear. Wristware. Yeah, I said Ris. I said Wis. WIS. Yeah. Talk about that. How did that all come about? How did that get started?
So Wristware was an idea. Rest in peace. One of my group members who passed away, his name was Cage. Mm-hmm. We kind of formed this group. Well, we did form this group. It was called Ris, which stands for History Repeats Itself. It's an acronym. Okay, yeah. And Ris Wear broke off of Ris. So this was just a thought I had, we had in our heads, drinking a few beers when we were kids. And one of my business partners, I had a chance to team up with him about a little over 3 years ago. We formed this line called Ris Wear. And it was a strong line that we did for basically fall and winter. We had a bunch of hoodies, baseball jackets, baseball caps, winter Scully caps. We had T-shirts. We had a lot of stuff. And I just recently pretty much sold out that whole line, which I put in about, a couple $1,000s. But I basically made my money back and then some. So focused on the new line of Wristware, which is going to be a spring summer line. So I'm gonna attempt to put that out this summer.
Yo, man, when you get that summer stuff out, you better send me the link, bro.
I got you, man. I got you. I got a new design. I'm working with an artist from China, so I'm looking to team up with her and get this new logo for that. She's the one who did my cover for Travis County too. And she did the cover for Sabato as well.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. So that's definitely someone we're gonna keep in touch with.
Yeah, man. She's a problem, man.
Yeah, no, she's definitely a beast with it, man. Was it ever difficult to step into the merch game? Was that an easy transition to do all that stuff?
To be honest, it wasn't.
I feel you. Yeah, it's a tough game to hop into. It seems easy at the surface, but then once you start digging into what you can do and what's the parameters, you realize how tough it is. Yeah.
So I'll tell you this, man. I when I started the Wristware was before I had my son. Mm-hmm. It was before I moved into my new place. I didn't have a kid at the time. I had less responsibilities. I was selling it, but it wasn't selling very fast.
Gotcha.
And when I moved into my new apartment last January.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved in, I got my son. I have boxes, mind you. I have boxes of Wristware. Like I had like 6 boxes just full of product.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, quarantine hit. Come that January, I have all these boxes. I just started selling them. So little merch that I had, like baseball. I had playing cards with the logo of my album. That sold. I sold that whole merch line in one day.
Wow.
In quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
So mind you, I sold I'd say about 60 to 65% of Wristware during quarantine. So that was kind of like
damn.
It was shocking to me because I didn't think I could do it. But that just goes to show you, man, you just got to grind, You got to grind. I realized people had money, even if they weren't working, they had money. So,
yeah.
And it's not just that. It's like, everybody needs a hoodie. Everybody wears hats. Everybody wears shirts. So I just kind of, took that into a new approach. And, I was lucky, man. I was lucky. I was able to sell. I have 1 hoodie left, man.
Yeah, man, that's
a couple hats. Like I sold everything. I was shocked, man.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm happy to hear that, yo. And I think more people are aware of the fact that like people are trying to be more entrepreneurial and that we should support people who are from the ground up. It's like you spend all this money on Nike and Adidas and all these luxury brands. Why not spend maybe like 10% less to people that and support that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that mentality is a little bit more popular.
And I'm going to tell you something funny.
Mm-hmm.
When I did the merch line, I'm going to tell you something funny.
Yeah.
When I did the merch line for my album,
mm-hmm.
I would say 80 to 85% of all of the people that bought that are not from Boston. They're not from Massachusetts.
Wow.
They're from different states, different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shocked. I'm like, I don't like, no disrespect to Boston, but I don't rely on Boston the way I once did when I was younger. There are good people in Boston. There is support in Boston, but you have a lot of misery loves company. The whole thing. So a lot of people see you doing something and they look the other way because they feel more comfortable seeing somebody who they already knows on TV, who's famous. So they don't want to see anyone else get famous. They just want to focus on the people that are already famous. And that's the kind of world we live in, unfortunately, But it's okay, man. Like, I'm not mad at any of them. I'm not mad at any of them, man.
It's all good. Yeah.
I don't, I used to be very disgruntled.
Of course, man. Yeah, I can totally
why don't
understand.
they like my post? Why don't they buy? Like, you can't focus on them. You got to go out and focus on who will support.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's I'm not angry and bitter anymore. I'm,
that shit ain't healthy for you.
I even like I go and like their posts, even though they don't show support to me. I still show support to their pages. This is, I don't hate, man.
Yeah, I think it's very unhealthy when you're bitter and you hate on those circumstances. It's like you have to understand that it's very freaking hard to sell a piece of merch. It's hard to sell an album. It's and until you realize that, you will have more respect for the people who do it on the massive levels that they do. And then you realize how much money they spend. Once you look at all the details of it, you realize how difficult these things go about. And that's what should make you not be bitter about those little cases where people from where you are don't support you like that. So
right.
Mm-hmm. I definitely.
And then you got to look at this situation as well.
Yes, exactly.
Misery does love company. So, if you're looking to have a conversation with someone who doesn't believe in themselves, why would they believe in you?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
Just saying, man.
No, it's like, think about it, y'all. Think about it. Yeah.
Think about it, man.
That's that's definitely more of like, in terms of like the psychology of artists and of fans, at least of the consumer, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It definitely takes a certain type of person to support the lower artists, to even listen to them. Because I've even heard people that are like, oh, I can't listen to these artists. Look how many views they have. Like, they're not even popular.
Right.
But the music's great. But they just can't subject themselves to listen to an artist that only has 1,000 followers. It's really weird.
Right.
It's really weird.
Right. And then it's funny because if you look at my followers, I have 10,000 followers, but I don't get 10,000 likes.
Yeah.
You see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that has to do with the algorithm as well.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. But still,
but still, it's exactly my point. I mean, so many people will probably go on my page. Oh my God, he has 10,000 followers, but then they look, it has 80 likes or 60 likes.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on?
Yeah. If they're smart enough to be aware of that, because some people might just see 10K and just go, "Oh, this dude's cool," and then they'll listen to you. Like some people are like that, and then they'll see like 2,000, 3,000, be like, I don't know.
Right. Well, that's the algorithm. I learned my lessons.
Algorithms for real.
I used to like, the wig pages and the hair pages. You can't be doing that, man.
Nah. Instagram nipped all that shit a long time ago, man. They got the way it used to be in like 2018, because that's when I really started to learn the Instagram game. It's completely changed, bro. It's you can't do anything the same no more. It's like, and Instagram will let you know what the people like. Like it'll let you know what they like from you. Like if you post some off shit, like they'll let you, the likes will tell you everything you need to know. That's all I'll say.
Right. 1,000%, bro.
Yeah, that algorithm ain't no joke, man. It really is.
No joke, man.
Let's get back to talking just more so about the music, man. Your music is very lyrical. You, like I said before at the beginning, man.
Appreciate
what would you say? Oh, for sure, man. What would you say to someone who thinks rap isn't as lyrical as it once was? What would you say as someone who thinks that? Because that's still something very common that you see reiterated nowadays.
Right. I mean, to be honest with you, I used to think that 4 or 5 years ago.
Me too.
but I will say we've had such a resurgence in hip hop in the last I would say in the last like 3 to 4 years, it's been so strong, not just in like Boston, but like upstate New York, New York City, LA, down south. I'll never understand when people be like, hip hop's dead or real rap, because they're just not paying attention, man.
It's like you shut the door on hip hop a long time. Like you shut the door on hip hop. Like you gave up on it.
Like you got to understand. Like I always tell people, like some people hear my first album and they think that's my best work. And don't get me wrong, I like that album
for sure.
But you have to also not be inspired by yourself. You need to be inspired by your peers. You need to be inspired by your competition. So I didn't really feel like there was like, not to sound like, too cocky, but I didn't feel like there was that much competition. Yeah. As opposed to now where there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of dope MCs, like a lot. Like I find more and more every day, man. And it's great to see, man. It's inspiring, man. It's inspiring to hear like, kids walking around with Buffalo Kid sweaters and like listening to One Loops that I was doing 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to see that, man. It's dope to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. It really is. And people who always think that way, it's like, it's definitely a combination of just like stubbornness and just ignorance, It's just
right. And honestly, like, I don't even blame them that much, because I'm sure at the time when I didn't think it was out there, it was still out there. I just didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't blame everyone. I just want people to do more of a homework, because, it's breathing, man. Hip hop is definitely it's starting to feel like how it was in 96, 98. Like I don't know how other people feel, but I'm starting to feel like that, because I see a lot of competition. I'm like, damn, I got to go against him. I got to go against him. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how it was in 96. Like 98, those artists had to know what they were going up against, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It's still got it, man. It's still there, and just on a commercial level. I mean, hip hop is on another level. Hip hop is pop now. No matter how way you dice it up, like the most lyrical rapper, the most street rapper is a pop star. Can be a pop star easily,
easily, 1,000%, man.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of there's a lot of artists that are able to maneuver around melodic rap, and some of it's dope, man. I used to kind of not hate on it, but it wasn't my thing. But if you open your ears enough, it's also about the feeling. Like some songs might not be the most lyrical, but there might be a lot of feeling into the song.
Yeah.
You know? So I'll adapt to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's about the feeling a lot of times.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, like, cause I don't, if someone's being super lyrical and high word choice or like very intelligent words that they use and stuff, and they're very coded, like some raps like that, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna like it just because you've used big words and you did this big concept with a quadruple entendre the whole song. It's like, okay, the song didn't sound great. I didn't like the beat, like you didn't rap. Your rapping voice isn't cool. Like there's so many factors that go into being a lyrical artist. When I say that, like I don't just mean like your words, like I mean everything, like how you deliver it. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
Right. My song that I put the most into was a record I did called Get These Letters Out Fast. And at the time I was losing a couple of people that were very close to me in my life. And I'll be honest, it wasn't the most lyrical song. But it was I put the most into it because I was going through so much. So you could hear it in the record. But if you heard it, you'd be like, nah, this is not Bugsy. Like it wasn't my most lyrical at all. But I love it. It's probably it's probably the record I put the most into.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
no, for sure. Yeah, that heart, it had that heart in it. Yeah.
My heart was in it more than my mind. 1,000%, man.
Yeah, that's why a lot of times people say like the best music comes from pain. The best music comes from when you're like truly feeling that you're not fabricating in any way at all, and like that shit permeates through. Really does.
And that's why soul music is the best. Because you know they were going through it, man. You know, blues. Trust me, man. I know the history, man.
No, for sure, man. I definitely know and tell that you know that all that stuff about just the music history, man. Which is definitely something I hope the younger artists are paying attention to, because I feel like sometimes when I see these guys in interviews, it's like you don't know these artists and that artist, but it's just a shame, but. Yeah. Can't force people to listen to stuff they don't want to listen to. So what are you gonna do?
right.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
I definitely want to ask you just about how artists move and how they go about getting their name out there. Do you think it's necessary for an artist in 2021 to have to put out a music video, to have to put out the merch? Can an artist just put out music to blow up? What do you think?
That's a good question. To be honest, it all depends on the artist.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna say that because you could put out a record and the record's crazy because of the video, but the record you might put out on YouTube is just a regular song. It might only get like 30 views.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to understand. I'm very old school. So for me, I think it's very detrimental that you have a video, that you have a PR, you have some money invested in the project, posters, stickers, street team, the whole nine, man. Like I still put up posters and stickers.
Yeah.
Like I'll always do that. One of my friends, I won't say his name, but he kind of acts like he's, too big for. I'm like, bro, if I'm not too big, you're not too big. Like, you can do that, man. Like if people laugh, they laugh. I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do all that, man. I'll still talk to people on the street. Like that's the era that I'm from, man. And even though I pay for promotion, even though I pay for a PR, I'm still gonna stop somebody. Be like, hey, how you doing? And talk to them. Like it's important, man. All of those things are important. And you have to take it, you have to take in not just the visual aspect for the social media. You got to look at the physical aspect in terms of like posters, stickers, paying for a billboard, digital advertisement, like all of that. You have to do everything and then some. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think so many artists just focus on putting out music. And they
but that's the thing.
Look at everything else. They really discard everything else. It's like, that's why you haven't progressed like you should.
Right. And that's why if you look, the people that are putting out music and they don't get results is because they're not putting anything into it. Like look at me. I'm going to give you a perfect example.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so when I put out music, the first few albums, it was very stressful because, you know, I had certain artists, and I don't need to say their names, but let's just say they were platinum artists, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That doesn't correlate to me being a platinum artist because I have a platinum artist on my record.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of stress on my shoulders because I had to meet certain expectations, and I put so much money definitely into my first album. And the point I'm trying to make is I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor now.
Yeah.
Little things like, you know, I just got in the magazine. I'm very proud of that.
Hell yeah, man. Congrats.
Appreciate it, man.
Man.
You know, an artist painted me in Germany. She's the one who got me in the magazine. I've had people paint me, you know, do paintings of me around the world. People draw me, people write me. Like, that's the things that like gives me the inspiration, you know, because I don't have a lot of like millions of fans, but the fans that I do have are very strong supporters.
Yeah.
And that's something that it just inspires me to keep going, man.
Yeah. That's really dope to hear. And I think a lot of times people get caught up in the bigger numbers, the bigger picture, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But when you break it down and look at the people that really mess with you is when you truly appreciate what you're doing. And that's what should keep you forward. I think a lot of times people just focus on big numbers, and it's like, well, let's just look at what you got now. Because like, if you really think about the people that do big numbers, those are like 20 rappers. 20 rappers of all the rappers do those numbers that you wish you had. It's like, come on, let's really look at everything here.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. And people, there's so many people that overlook me because I don't have crazy numbers like, you know, my music videos or my streams. And that's the thing I was trying to tell you. Like, for me, I'm so proud of the merch because I'm not embarrassed to admit this. I sell more merch than I do albums.
Hey.
I'm not embarrassed to admit that.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's dope. You know what I mean? I think that's something to be proud of, you know?
And it's funny because I appreciate that because, you know, some people have been like, well, it should be the other way around. And I'm like, you know what? As long as I'm making money.
I was about to say, you make more money doing it, that, like if it goes that way.
Right.
You know?
And you actually make more because, you know, you got to think about it. I had sweatsuits. I was selling them for $60. So that's one sweatsuit for $60. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, mind you, I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those, you know, maybe 1,000. Like, I had a lot. So, and I sold all of them. So every single one, I got one hoodie left and I got a few hats. That's it. Like, so I'm proud of that. For me, that was a win, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a win, bro. And I think a lot of people that's what I understand when you're an artist, you gotta step outside music when it comes to selling stuff, and merch is the best way to go about it. Put your logo on the back of an iPhone cover, put it on a bottle and sell that shit. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
And you do it, and that's what can be your living. Your living's off of that, and it stems from the music.
Right. And the biggest thing, and I can give a little insight if anybody, you know, when they watch this and they pick it up, the best advice I can give for anybody that helped me is you're giving them something that they need. Yes. Right. So we live in a city where it gets cold. You need a hoodie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my brand and me is irrelevant to the fact that they wear hoodies.
Yes.
That's the first thing you got to realize.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you selling water. Like, you know that they drink water.
Like, you know,
so why not just buy my water?
Yeah.
The same concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so I kind of piggybacked a lot of times off like knowing that they would wear a hoodie, knowing that they'd wear a hat, and just kind of, you know, slowly let them see my brand. And I don't want to, I'm the type of person too, I don't shove it down anybody's throat.
No, you can't. Nah.
I used to do that. When I was younger, I would be like, yo, check out my merch. Like, you have to think. And so many people DM me and I don't even respond because I used to do that when I was younger. Can't do that, man.
Nah.
I'll say peace to everybody. Peace is universal.
Yeah.
Now, if they respond back, they don't have to. But I'll say peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope you're having a good day. That's all. You don't have to respond to me. But if you do respond, I'm going to let you know I got some dope shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? That's it. I don't shove shit down people's throat.
Nah.
Because I get it all day. People be like, yo, check this album. Like, that's the best way for me to block you or just not read it.
Yeah, at least start a conversation first.
Yeah.
Say
have a good day, man. Something like
hope all is well. Like, give them some sort of intro. Yeah, that's a rookie mistake, man. Real
rookie.
It's like it doesn't get more rookie than just sending 1,000 links off to people.
I did it, bro. Believe me, I did it when I was younger.
No, I think every artist has done it before. I'd be surprised. I'd be remiss if there are artists that didn't do that. But it's you gotta live and learn and trial and error, man. So
right.
All the people that we've DM'd that didn't want us to DM them on music, we're sorry, all right?
Right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you never clicked on.
Right.
Let's talk about your newest release, man. This project is I'll be honest with you, man. Every song is dope. Every song's good on this project, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
Like I don't know if it's because I've been in a lyrical, this type of rap phase for a few months now. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But I really enjoyed this project, man. Talk about it. Talk about the title. Talk about how you came about making this project.
Sure thing, man. So I saw a documentary. I saw a documentary about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and it was called The Towers. And it's about an individual. His name was Simon Rodier. And I don't know if you've heard of the Watts Towers, but so the Watts Towers are basically it's a 16 structure tower base in Watts, LA.
Okay, yeah, I figured you know Watts, LA.
Right, and this guy, his name was Simon Rodier. He went by the nickname Sabato.
Okay.
He moved to Watts in the 50s, I believe, and he just started building these towers. And nobody knew who he was. People thought that he was a spy, that this was a Russian spy, and it was taking, satellites and all of this crazy stuff. But I basically named the album Sabato because in 2016 to 2017, I put out about 17 projects on that piff. I was just shooting them out, man.
Oh, 17
so kind of projects? That was you said
17
you said what?
projects?
Yeah, it was like 16 to 17. I don't remember. It was at least 16.
That's insane, bro.
It was crazy, bro.
Yeah,
but
that's dope.
Thank you, man. I basically was paying an homage to him and kind of using that as kind of like like a metaphor for saying what he did is what I was doing with that,
Yeah. Sure.
I was just it was fascinating, and I kind of wanted to create a subgenre of rap. And I kind of started it with that album. And it's basically called Mosaic Rap. And Mosaic Rap, like a mosaic, you have little tiles and pieces. Yeah. And that kind of has a strong kind of meaning behind that. And it's basically like just putting thoughts together. It's not about really songs or choruses. It's just about putting thoughts and feelings together. And like putting it all, it could be random. So if you listen to that album, I'm sure you notice you might find a chorus here or there, or you might find this and that, but it's very unorthodox.
Yes, yeah.
And it was supposed to be like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to start something that I haven't heard before, and I just wanted to try something new. So you'll find more of that type of hip hop. Not on every project, but you will find it on other ones.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. Did it take a long time to make this project? Was it something that just flowed really quickly? How did that come about?
So I wrote this album in quarantine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wrote this album in quarantine.
So you probably in your thoughts when you were writing it.
Yeah, I was going through it, man. My brother Maddox came with me. We actually recorded that in the Wu-Tang studio. And that 95% of that album was recorded in Staten Island.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we recorded that in Stapleton where Ghostface is from. There's a studio called Dark Street Studios. U-God's son, I know you know U-God.
Of course, yeah.
His son engineered the album.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean most of it. There's probably only 1 or 2 records that
it's mixed very well. So yeah.
Thank you, man. Yeah, my brother Maddox. He was the one who mastered the album.
Hell yeah, man. Wow. I mean, just it's funny because like if you were like to tell people about the album, they never heard it, and you said that'll make them listen to the project. Oh, you
Right.
recorded it there? Oh, sure.
Right.
I guess I'll check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why if you listen to the record Obstacles 2, Maddox says in Staten Island Wildin', he's talking about, you know what I mean, when we went down there.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Cool.
it was a dope experience, man.
Yeah, man. Do you work in New York City a lot? Do you go down there to record and meet up with people a lot?
I've been there a few times. I've done some radio interviews there. I did This Is 50 like 3 years ago. I did DSN radio, which was in the Bronx. So I've been there a few times doing promotions and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So you're familiar with the area. I mean, yeah, because
Yeah.
in the digital world that we live in, a place like New York, I mean, when it comes to this music shit, and obviously hip hop, it's no
Right.
joke to go there and network there and all that stuff in person.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Definitely think that's dope that you've made those connections to get down there. Seriously.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. There's a lot of great networks that I've met from New York, definitely.
Yeah, man, that's dope to hear, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this book that was released. You had your life story told in it. There was like
Right.
a chapter of it.
Yep.
How did that come about, man? That's pretty epic that you had someone write about you in a book.
Yeah. So there was an author in there was a book that I read in 2015, and it was called A Block in Time, and the author's name was Lynn Potts. So I bought this book in South End, which was the neighborhood I grew up in. And the place that I bought, it was like a little bookstore. It had like, boutique, they sell other stuff. So I went back to the place that I bought the book, and I'm like, yo, man, this book is crazy. Because it was about my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I'm telling him, I'm like, hey, wait, does she have other books?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, stay in touch. Like, yeah, she'll have other stuff. So I went in there probably, like 6 months after that. So a little bit after. And I didn't buy a book. I just bought some other stuff. And I'm leaving. And the guy says, oh, I remember you were talking about the author. She's looking to interview people from the neighborhood. I told her about you. Do you mind if I give her your number? I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool, right? So
sure.
I don't know what it was gonna be.
Yeah.
So I gave him my number, and she calls me the next day. She's like, hey, I want to speak to my name. She's like, I'd like to speak to you, and we met at Starbucks, and after about 5 minutes, she told me she deemed I was interested enough to put in a book. So yeah, man. So she put me in a book. I'm chapter 7.
Wow, man. That's so cool how that just all came about. Were you nervous to tell your story in it? Was it just like, where we're just going to
I mean, it wasn't necessarily like I was nervous. I just been through a lot in my life. She was kind of like, and we're friends till this day, man. I'm trying to bring her to my new apartment and bring her over for dinner and let her meet my son because, she's helped me so much with getting back into writing, writing poetry and just writing. She helped me become a better writer. So I always owe her that, and I can't thank her enough for making me a better writer.
Yeah.
And she believes in me, like she really believes in me, and she loves I would show her songs, and she was the one who introduced me to like writing poetry. Because I wrote poetry when I was a kid, but I never really took it seriously. So she took some of the songs like, yo, this is poetry. Because hip hop is poetry, man.
Of course, yeah. Did
So,
she
yeah,
make you like more aware of like certain like actual like poetry mechanics or like, stuff like that? Okay.
Prose, and she taught me how to write pros and cons and all that, man. Like she really helped me out. She really helped me out a lot. So I'm always very thankful to her helping me become a much better artist.
Yeah, man. You can't stop. You can never stop learning. As good as a rapper you are, man, there's always more you can add to the game.
You can always listen. A real artist is never. One of my brothers told me before he passed. A real artist is never satisfied with his work ever.
No.
No matter how dope you tell me I am, I'm always going to wish that I did things better or wish that I had, you can always be better. Always.
Yeah. Always striving for more, man. Like all the great artists, all the dope artists I know, they're always going for next. They're always trying.
Yeah. It doesn't stop, man. You can always be a better artist. Always.
Yeah, man. That's some real stuff right there, man. Bugsy, I got one more question for you just before we get up out of here, man. I just want to ask you simply, what's next for you, man? What you got planned for the people that you want to tell them, or what's in store for the future?
Sure, man. So the Sabato album that I told you about, I'm proud to announce my first vinyl release, which is going to be so that's going to be a part of my label, Ris Entertainment, and also the label that's making the vinyl, which is Burlington Press. It's going to have 3 remixes.
Ooh.
So 3 songs that were on the album, I got them remixed from a producer in Japan. His name's DJ Matora. So he's remixing 3 records. I got Sadat X from Brand Nubian. He's on the album. I got Fat Lip from the Far Side. You know the Far Side?
Yeah. Whoa. Hell yeah.
Fat Lip's on the album. And it's such a dope album. So I'm gonna strive to have that July, August. It's gonna drop around the time my next album comes out, which is called Sanctuary. And Fat Lip as well is gonna be on that. I got Ito. I don't know if you ever heard of Ito. He's killing it.
Yeah.
From Rochester. I got Ito on it. And I don't know if you know Rel from Rockefeller.
Yes. Yep.
He sang with Jay-Z. So I got him on I got him on the album. And definitely my brothers Maddox, the 18th Bronzeman, S18. You've seen him at S18.
Yes.
Yeah. So
he's all over the project.
Yeah, he's on every pretty much
really
every
good.
album. Yeah. I'm very excited for those 2 releases that will be. Hopefully, I'm gonna strive both of them around July, August.
Yeah, man. Oof. A lot in store, man. Oh man.
Yeah, man. Lot in store, man. I'm pretty excited, man.
Planning ahead, yo. That's the only way you gotta go about it, man. So I'm happy to see that you got a bunch in store, and I'll definitely be looking forward to it, man. Just send it my way. I'll listen to it and all that stuff, man. So I
appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you having me on it too, man.
Hey, man, I'm happy to have you on, man. Happy we can make it happen, man. That's Bugsy H, y'all, on the show. Where can the people...
Dopest podcast, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. Where can the people follow you? Where can they reach you?
So all you got to do is just Google Bugsy H, and I'll pop right up. You could check me out, like I said, my life stories and Faces of a Neighborhood. That's available on Amazon everywhere. And, you could find me on Instagram, Bugsy_H. And I'm Bugsy H. I should be Bugsy Hewitt on Facebook. I don't really use Facebook that much.
No, that's dope. That's dope, man. Hey, yo, but y'all heard him. Y'all make sure y'all check that out, all right?
Appreciate it, man.
Do that for sure, man, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, that's episode 104 of the TempahZone podcast. Thank you very much for tuning into this one. Make sure you tune in next week for another episode, all right? Peace.